Hello and welcome to hopefully another entertaining episode of Create Simple Meals. So today we're going to do another one of them real quick dump and go type meals that I love so much using the pressure cooker. You can do this on your stove top. There's really not that much difference other than instead of doing it 15 minutes, you probably do about 30 minutes or so on the stove top, but we're going to do it here in this pressure cooker. So I'll tell you what we're doing today. Today we are doing a creamy tomato soup. We then took an onion, the Vidalia onion, we just diced it up. We're going to add to that 2 minced cloves of garlic, and we're going to sit there and saute it off in a pan for a minute in some extra virgin olive oil. Then we're just going to dump in literally 28 ounces of crushed or diced tomatoes, some chicken broth, a little bit of sugar, tomato paste, some basil, either fresh or dried, some oregano, salt, and pepper, and that's pretty much going to be it, folks. As always, please, while you're sitting here waiting for us to get started, click that YouTube subscribe button and that notification bell. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Tap into us on TikTok and visit the Create Simple Meals website often. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me at askme@createsimplemeals.com. And also on the contact page, there is a notification bell on there. I'm sorry, messaging feature on there. You can send me an instant message, and if I'm not otherwise engaged, I will get back to you fairly quickly. All right, so let's start sauteing off these onions here. Now, with this recipe, what I'm going to recommend you do, I'm not going to put some of the ingredients in right now. Your salt and your pepper, you can add that in after the fact just so you don't over salt it. The thing with pressure cookers, because you don't lose any type of moisture, it also amplifies flavors. So it calls for about a teaspoon or so of salt, or half teaspoon or so of salt and pepper, and about a teaspoon or so of sugar. You may not like it sweet or not, so that's up to you. So what I would recommend, unless you've done this a few times, add in your salt, pepper, and your sugar after the pressure cooker releases. We're just going to get these sauteed until they're a little bit translucent. Another tip, and what you can do, give me 1 second, what you can do is when you're doing your, forgot to hit light on, for your tomatoes, you can do regular old diced tomatoes. What I do is I get those crushed or diced tomatoes that already have the same herbs I'm using. So the ones I'm using actually have garlic, oregano, and basil in them. So I believe you can't have too much flavor. So you can do it that way, and that will help out with your meal. Or you can just go with the traditional non-seasoned diced tomatoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to get all this sauteed off, add in our garlic. I'm going to add that in right now. Add in our garlic, and then we're going to start dumping all this stuff in, and we're going to let it cook for about 15 minutes. Now, what to serve it with, because you don't want to just have soup. What I'm going to serve mine with is a grilled cheese. So I may or may not put this recipe on there, but basically I took some sourdough bread. I got some mozzarella cheese on there. I sprinkled a little bit of Italian herb on top of that, and I'm just going to grill that off, and we're going to have that with our tomato soup. It's November here, and even though they say it never rains in Southern California, it does get cold every now and again. So we done dropped into the 40s at night. So I figure, hey, it's soup weather. And it was between this and chili, this one. Give me some sugar. All right, so we got that. kind of cooked where we want it to be. Now, and when I say dump, I do mean dump. Now we just gonna start dumping in our tomatoes. That costs about 28 ounces, but I'm making just a little bit more so we can have something for lunch. I'm gonna mix all that in there. And to that, we're gonna add in about a tablespoon of some tomato paste. We're going to add a tablespoon of basil. I'm going to add a little bit more, even though I have some in my tomatoes already. Now, I say with the salt, go kind of sparingly with it your first time around. So I'm going to put just a quarter teaspoon of salt. Give me a half a teaspoon of oregano. And let me add in about a half a teaspoon of pepper. We'll mix all this together. Add in our chicken broth. So you're going to put a cup or so of chicken broth. Now, to be honest, I almost used beef broth just to do something different. And we're going to let this cook on down. And after it's done, you can either put this in your blender, or if you have an immersion blender, blend it right in the pot to puree it. And then add in some cream cheese to thicken it up some. So we're going to go ahead and actually, you know what? Because I've actually done this before. I am going to put in a tablespoon of sugar in mine. But again, folks, if you don't really like it too sweet, I would recommend not adding your sugar until after it's cooked, and you can adjust your season afterwards. So now we're going to go ahead and lock this down. And I will see you folks back here in about 15 minutes to show you the final results. As always, folks, please remember to subscribe to us on YouTube and hit that notification bell. Follow us and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Tap into us on TikTok. Please visit the website, createsimplemeals.com often. We always put our recipes and our videos on there first. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me at askme@createsimplemeals.com. If you go to the contact page, there is a messenger feature there. You can hit that, send us an instant a message, and if we're not otherwise engaged, we will get back to you soon. See you folks in about 15 minutes. All right, folks. So we're back now. I'm sitting here finishing up pureeing the soup up, and I'm also grilling off some grilled cheese sandwiches to have with this. Check on these sandwiches. Let them melt a little bit longer, and let's go ahead and give this a taste test. I want to add just a little bit more salt to that. Not much. Maybe about a quarter or so teaspoon of salt. Just going to just mix that all in there. Go ahead and check on these sandwiches. I'm going to go and put these off. Run out of space here. Gonna put these out of our way for right now. While those sitting there, let's go ahead and finish up with this soup. Perfect. So I don't think we need to add any more sugar to this at all. It's sweet enough with the tomato, the natural sweetness of the tomatoes. We put, like I said, I put about a tablespoon of sugar in here. You can put 1 to 2 tablespoons, but again, as I said, if this is your first time doing it, I would wait until after you've cooked everything off and then add it to it. So right now we're going to add in about 3 ounces of cream cheese, and that's just going to help give it that creamy texture, and it's going to thicken it up some. You can also add, if you want to add like a cornstarch slurry, or a little mozzarella to it. You can also use heavy cream to thicken it up as well. I just happen to have a bunch of cream cheese, so when I designed the recipe, I said we're going to use cream cheese in it. Puree this on up. I highly recommend, especially if you do soups a lot, get yourself one of these immersion blenders. But you can also, if you're not a gadget person like me, you can also get you a pour it into a blender and just post it in there and get the exact same results. I saw this one time at one of them little discount stores and years ago, and I've loved it ever since. All right, so gonna give us a couple of shots here. Add in our soup. And again, folks, we're having ours tonight with grilled cheese sandwiches. So the grilled cheese sandwiches, real simple. Not part of the recipe. I may add it on there. Some mozzarella cheese, a little bit of spinach. You could have put basil. And then I actually put some Italian herb seasoning on the mozzarella, and then put it on some sourdough, brush it off with some olive oil and some garlic, and there you have it. Let's go ahead and let me show you how I like to eat mine. I definitely like that little extra season I put in there. So, as far as the tomato soup, I'm gonna give you the recipe again real quick. Diced onions, saute them off. Put a little garlic, a couple of minced garlic in there. Saute it off with the onions. To that, you're gonna add in a couple of cans of crushed tomatoes, chicken broth, a little bit of sugar, some tomato paste to give it the extra thickness. Your basil, oregano, salt, pepper. And once it's done, you can go ahead and add you some sugar in there. What I also did was made mine with a grilled cheese. And so from a grilled cheese, spur of the moment thing, I had some mozzarella in there, had some sourdough. Put that on there, brush your bread with some olive oil and garlic. And that's good. There you have a complete meal, folks. So, excuse me. As always, folks, you know when it comes to cooking, we only have 3 rules. You must have patience. You must have a passion. You must have patience, and you must be willing to practice. Until next week, folks, please remember to subscribe to us on that YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you know we're coming on. Follow us and like us on Facebook. Like us on Instagram. Tap into us on TikTok. For all our recipes and our videos, please visit CreateSimpleMeals.com. If you have any questions, emails, concerns, just want to send a shout out, you can email it to me at askme@CreateSimpleMeals.com. Also, on the contact page on the website, there is a messenger feature. You can hit us up there. And if we're not otherwise engaged, we'll respond back to you pretty soon. Until next week, folks, when we'll bring you back another exciting meal. Stay warm because it is getting cold, and eat well. See you soon.